everyone, welcome back to our channel Zero and Runs Math tutorial where learning math is made easy. Today we'll be doing a short video tutorial for the topic finding the x-intercepts, the y-intercept, and the vertex of a quadratic function. And let's recall that we could have at most two x-intercepts and one y-intercept in a quadratic function. Okay, and then bonus we will solve for vertex. Okay, alright, so let's make use of this example here to solve for the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. Right, let's have first the x-intercept. Before doing so, we can write this one actually as the in this form, y equals 2x squared minus 3x minus 20, where f of x is just the same with the y. Okay, now what you are going to do if you are going to look for the x-intercepts, very easy. Solving for x-intercept, what are we going to do? Very important is you will let your y be equal to 0. Okay, let y be equal to 0. So now you can solve for that. If we are going to replace y by 0, so this equation would become 0 equals 2x squared minus 3x minus 20. And if you're going to write that, interchange that, you could visualize a quadratic equation, okay, equated to 0, so written in standard form. Now since it's a quadratic equation, we can solve this by factoring. So by doing so, you actually can have your roots or zeros, and take note, the roots or zeros of a quadratic equation or function is the same as x-intercepts. Alright, so what you are going to do is to factor. What are the factors of 2x squared? You can have 2x and an x. Then you go to the c, negative 20. What are the factors of negative 20? It could be a positive 5 and a negative 4. Okay, I think that's it. Because if you're going to check, 5 times x is 5x and 2 times negative 4 is negative 8x. That is negative 8x, then plus 5x, it's a negative 3x, correct. That means our factors are correct. So what's next? You are going to equate each factor to 0. So you will have 2x plus 5 is equal to 0, and the other one is x minus 4 is equal to 0. Let me divide it, and so we can visualize it easily. So to further solve for x, and you are going to transpose positive 5 by SPE, that will become 2x is equal to negative 5. And so x has still numerical coefficient 2. That's why we need to divide it by 2, both sides. So that will finally become x is equal to a negative 5 halves. And so you can name it as your x sub 1 or first x-intercept, or roots or zeros. Yeah, that's it. And then for the other one, you get x minus 4 is equal to 0. You can just do it directly like you have. That's x is equal to positive 4, as you are going to transpose it following the APE. That's your second intercept, or x sub 2. And that means your x-intercepts, okay, your x-intercepts are negative 5 over 2 and 4. Very simple. Now let's use the same given as we solve for the y-intercept. How to solve for y-intercept? Very easy. Again, we can write that in terms of y is equal to 2x squared minus 3x minus 20. Alright, here if we will solve our y-intercept, okay, we will let our x be equal to 0. So what will happen if we will let x equal to 0? So copying it, that's y is equal to 2, and then x becomes 0, so therefore that becomes 0 raised to the power of 2 minus 3 then times x. X is 0, so that's times 0, minus 20. Ayan. So therefore you have y is equal to, that's 0, this is also 0, so you have negative 20. And that's it. That is your y-intercept. Take note, intercepts are where it's a point to where the parabola passes through the axis x and y. For x-intercepts, that's the point where the parabola passes to the x-axis, and for the y-intercept, it is where the parabola crosses the y-axis. Alright, that's how simple it is. Now we'll try to make use of the same given, solving for vertex. The given again is f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x minus 20, and if written in this way, y is equal to 2x squared minus 3x minus 20, it's just the same because f of x and y are just equal. Alright, so what is most important here is you have your numbers for your ABC. Okay, your numbers that represents your ABC. Your A is 2, your B is negative 3, and your C is negative 20. Ayan. And I think you can recall, if you can recall, we have the vertex whose coordinates are h and k, right? Or the x and y. Since we're talking about vertex of parabola, we use h and k letters as a representation, as variables to represent our x and y values. That's the vertex. So we can recall, that the formula for h is negative b over 2a. We can use that since we have only values here. And then for your k, you can use the 4ac minus b squared, ayan, over 4a. If you can recall, this is part operation on as we derive the formula for quadratic. Ayan, quadratic formula from the standard form of quadratic equation. Makikita to the part. Okay, so yan. You have the formula. All you need to do is plug in the values that we have here, the numbers that we have here, a, b, c. So let's have first for h. Your h is just negative b over 2a. Wait, our b is negative, so it's negative here. That means it becomes positive when you plug in, no? That becomes 3 over 2. Your a is 2, so that's a times 2. And then that's for the h. For the k, you have 4 times your a is 2, and your c is negative 20. Ayun. Tapos minus, you still have 3. Ayan, negative b squared. B squared is negative 3 squared. So negative, you place a parenthesis because that's negative, over, let me clarify the penmanship. That should be parenthesis, negative 3 inside, squared. Ayun. Okay, that's for the b squared since our b is negative 3. Then you can have 4 times a in the denominator. That means 4 times 2. Okay, I think I need the bracket here, not a parenthesis. Okay, and let me erase it. Okay, you can use this one, this sign. And so we can solve now for h and k. If you were able to plug in correctly the values, here it's a 2, tama, it's negative 20, that's for c, that's right, negative 3, that's right. So here you can easily solve for h now. Your h is 3/4. Ayan. Okay, that's for your h already. Now let's simplify this so that we can get our k. You have 4 times 2 times negative 20, so that's negative 40 times 4 is negative 160. Okay, negative 160. And then it's 3, negative 3 squared. Oh, it's a plus. It becomes positive. No, it's a positive 9. But then there's negative outside. Oh, a positive and a negative, because you still have to raise it. No, it becomes positive, but there's negative outside, so it's a minus 9 over 8. Okay, so final answer for h, you have 3/4, and for this one you have negative 169 over 8. And can you simplify that? 169 and 8, and that could be an answer if you simplify that. There's a decimal. Okay, there's a decimal, so you can have this as your answer. You have here your h and then your k as your vertex, and so you can use that as the vertex of your parabola as you sketch the graph. But I think that's it. That is how simple finding or solving the x-intercepts, the y-intercept, and the vertex using these formulas here. Okay, just check this out. If you've done it correctly, you were able to substitute it correctly, then there's no problem. That means you will arrive at the right answer. Okay, really right answer. Putting together 160 and 9, that is 169, so right, that's it. And that ends this tutorial. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for supporting our channel. Bye bye.